Hello, my name's Britt Good. I am excited to be here. I want to say thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Dan, for having me and being a badass. And yeah, just wanted to send my love to all of you. I'll see you next time.
Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan. For today, we have on the show, what can I say? We have on the show the amazing, incredible, the badass, the superstar, the legendary. Britt, how are you today?
I'm very good. Yeah, it's been a nice day.
There you go. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And as I said, what better way to have a fantastic, epic day than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
I mean, hey, I'll take it.
I love it. I love it. And you better get ready because I'm gonna call you badass a few times now. So.
Ready, yeah.
Giving you a quick heads up. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, helps a lot. And without further more, let's jump in. Now, for those who don't know who is the incredible, amazing, badass superstar Brit, please tell us who you are.
What do you want to know? Like, what's the range of that?
Okay. Okay, I got it. Tell me where the journey began, where it all started.
Okay. Well, I guess I would say the journey probably started when I started dancing. Um, and I was inspired by back in the day when they did the countdown of music videos, like top 20.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Janet Jackson on the screen. And I just knew right then and there that I wanted to be a dancer. I was already dancing, but like I knew that was my dream. Like I was like, that's what I want to do. So I was always in the arts, performing, and it became my job. So I've done live shows with big artists. I've done tours. I've done a lot of film and television within dancing, and that's what kind of then sparked me to be interested and intrigued by acting. I mean, I would say like as a dancer too, I've done musical theater and stage, so I've always been a performer, but just within using my body more so than my voice. So yeah, I don't know if that answers the question the best,
Oh
but
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. It does perfectly. So
yeah.
yeah. So basically, let's thank Janet Jackson for that.
Janet.
I love it. I love it. That's pretty cool. But tell me, what were some of the challenges, right? So you were like, you know what? This is gonna be my career now. Tell me what were some of those missteps or walls, let's say, you faced when you were making your first baby steps.
Yeah, I guess I did go through when I graduated, and I was just finishing because I was training in a dance studio like full time, and I was also a professional like gymnast. And Sorry, one second, I lost my train of thought. This happens to me sometimes.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir here. It happens to me too. I get it. It's okay.
What was I saying? When I graduated, I didn't really know where to go. I didn't know what to do. There wasn't as many people or opportunities to ask questions as much as now. Everyone's a little bit more open to giving advice. And yeah, so I was in a little bit of a depression mode. I'm not going to lie. I had to just kind of sit in it. And then I had one of my really good friends who I used to dance with, and he hit me up and was like, I'm in Toronto. We have a place available. Like, there's an extra room. Just move. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So I just packed my luggage. A week later, I flew there. And I guess for me, is what I'm trying to say to round this up, is that just going with what you're like, you feel your intuition when it's like pulling you that way, to like really listen, because I've done it many times where I don't listen to that, and it tries to keep teaching you a lesson, or to be like, hello, like over here. So for me, it's just like really following that. That was something that I've learned.
Yeah. I mean, it's scary, but at the same time, it's exciting, right? When you are making like that, uh, yeah, like that change, basically.
Mhm.
I like
And
it.
that really amped up my career. Toronto, like boosh, like I went woo, like I put in hard work, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. And also, I mean, I've heard recently that that over the past years, A lot of big productions and things like that are moving to Canada now because it's cheaper, and it's like more, and they ended up being like more friendly for productions to create their films here and there. So at the
Mm,
same time, it's great because it gives opportunity to locals to,
yeah, I agree with that 100%.
and also I do think that it helps everything to kind of expand a little bit and not center all of it in just in one place, as I would assume back then was theater, Broadway, film, Hollywood, and things like that, right? That gives the possibility to expand it a little bit more, and it's cool because now you have I mean, more people have opportunities now, which is great. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's like, Vancouver's like people say it all the time, like West Hollywood, in Canada.
hmm,
Yeah.
really,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's pretty
You
cool. And
you
no,
never heard that?
I haven't heard of it, and I have interviewed a lot of people from Vancouver, and none of them told me that. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. That's a new one.
Yeah.
I love it. But tell me, so let's start. Yeah, let's start out with the acting here. Tell me
Hmm.
how you handle the whole rejection side. You know what I mean? That it happens, right? That you and especially right when you finish graduating, you're fresh, you are full, you basically feel that the sky is the limit, things like that. But you start to have a lot of rejection. So how you handle that side?
Yeah, so I think I've with being in dance since I was younger, I've curated like tough skin. It's just
Mm-hmm.
a part of me. So I've been even with like, for instance, like running competitions or dance competitions. There used to like back in the day, it was like it was the first, second, third. There was
Yeah.
no like fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. So I feel like that's what's kind of missing now a little bit to be able to teach the younger generation that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
with rejection, like when I got older, I feel, of course, there's going to be times that really hurt, but you have to have really tough skin and just know and just know your path and know what you want and what you vision because your dreams can come true if you just like stay consistent in that mindset. You can come down and have your moment, of course, have the moment. You got to have the moments, right? But
Yeah.
for me, it was just, I just kind of gained like alligator skin.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it happens, right? That you need to develop that, otherwise it's gonna break you super fast, right?
Yeah.
And that is one of the things that I would love if schools would teach you more about the raw side of life, and not be treating you like, oh, you're gonna reach for the stars, this is the right place for you. Once you finish, you're gonna find everything you ever wanted and things like that. And once you finish school and you are into the real world now, you're like, crap, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I need tough love. And I find that has taught me so much and it's prepared me for this industry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I bet. Yeah, I bet. But that's
Yeah.
amazing that you have managed it. I mean, of course that I would assume, right, that no matter how positive you are, it still bummers you, Nobody likes being rejected. But it's cool that at the end of the day you manage to keep it healthy and be like, you know what? Maybe it just wasn't for me, and that's fine. I'll just keep hustling and doing my thing.
And I believe you also just have to let it go too, learning the craft of letting go and just knowing that your path is your path and what's meant to be yours will be yours.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like I said, you have to put in the work and stuff as well, but I do believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is sometimes funny that for some people think acting, dancing, things like that, it's super easy, right? And I do think that is because of the whole media that they only show us the easiest parts, the red carpets, the glory, the fame, the parties, sponsors, things like that. But once you start to dig up a little bit about the hard work that you need to put behind in order for you to get that small glance to it, then you're
Mhm.
like, oh shit, this is a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I had a thought there for a second, but I lost it.
We'll get it back at some point. But anyway, tell me what has been. Uh,
So I was going to say that a lot of people out there don't really see dancers as athletes or actors as athletes, but I
mm,
truly do believe that we're athletes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, we will be hearing it that even A-list actors will still taking acting lessons and acting techniques and things like that in order to get their craft much better. And yeah, it does make sense because, I mean, the whole industry is evolving and you need to evolve as well. So
Yeah.
I like that.
Mhm.
Interesting. They sound like athletes. I like it.
Yeah.
I'll take that. And
Yeah.
tell me, what has been your toughest moment on your career so far?
That's a good question. Toughest moment of my career so far. In terms of personal like stuff or more towards the craft of all that. Trying to think what a good moment would be, like a big shift or something. You know what? I think what was really hard for me was I lived in LA. I had my O1 visa as a dancer.
Oh, okay.
And that was all has always been my dream. Always, always. And when I was there in the midst of it, yeah, it wasn't fitting. Something wasn't feeling good. So I decided to take the risk and follow that and move back to Vancouver.
Mm,
And, but that's where my passion and when I started going full force with acting was. So I think it all happened for a very specific reason. But at
mm,
the time, it was a really hard choice to make for me
yeah.
because that dream is just right there. And I'm literally in the city of where I want to do my dancing career. But yeah, I'm still dancing, of course. Like I'm still a big part of my life, still doing that. But yeah, I guess the shift in that was really hard for me.
And now that you mentioned that you went to LA, tell me how overwhelming was the first couple of months when you took that, that shift from Canada, go to LA.
I mean, I think it was harder on me because I was going through like a big heartbreak then, and that was like my first big heartbreak.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I think
Hmm.
emotionally, like I was broken and mentally. So I kind of lost myself in LA a little bit, like my
Okay.
confidence, I should say. So I feel because of that, it wasn't as easy.
Hmm. Yeah, I bet.
You know
Yeah,
what
I
I mean?
bet. Yeah. I could totally get it. Like 10 years, no, 12. Damn it, 13 years ago now. Shit. Anyway, I moved to I moved to Germany. I went there for almost 2 years, and because my problem was that I went there overconfident, be like, I got this, and people were telling me like, dude, you need to learn a little bit about the language. And I was like, ha, I'll learn it there. Come on, how difficult can it be? Oh boy, it was super difficult, and yeah, because of that, I ended up making a lot of mistakes. Let's say, I mean, I was a teenager back then, but anyway, and and then later on, I was like, yeah, I should have learned this, or maybe read a book about the whole culture first before jumping in. But at the same time, I don't regret it because I have a lot of cool stories to tell. So you know what I mean. So
Oh,
I can get it. But hey, as I was saying here, I can understand how challenging it can be for moving to like another country. I mean, even though that, yeah, it's the same language, of course, but the culture is different and be on your own. I think that is like the most scary part, right? The most scary at the same time exciting, that you
yeah.
don't know what is gonna happen. And once you realize that you're on your own, shit start happen or something happen, and you need to figure out that yourself because there is nobody else to help you out. It's either you or you're stuck in that situation until you figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was tough too because on an O1 visa, you can only dance. So my jobs had to be dance related. I couldn't do a
Yeah.
set. So yeah, the financial part of it was pretty tough.
Yeah, I bet. And yeah, and especially LA, right? That I think is one of the most expensive cities in the world, something like that. I was reading the other day.
Yeah, that American dollar exchange rate. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But focusing a little bit on your dancing now, tell me like how the whole preparation goes. I mean, I can understand how physical and mentally exhausting might be but tell me, like, do you have a like a specific ritual, or or back then you were doing something to kind of set your mind into start dancing, or like what was your thing back then, let's say?
Like before I would do a performance
Yeah.
or
Hmm.
preparation for that.
Yep.
Uh, In terms of like a specific project or in just in general?
General. Yeah, let's go general.
Well, um, well,
Someone's speeding up, by the way.
mhm.
Yeah.
uh, I would say, well, always preparation in general is always having to keep my body ready.
Yeah.
So I have to do, I don't even have to, it's just a part of who I am. Like
Mm,
I love to work out, I have to stay strong. Mentally, like yoga class is really nice. I'm trying to get into meditation now, so I can't even say that was a part of my ritual, but that I know is good for mental stuff to
yeah.
prepare to have like moments. But I using breath is big for me,
Mm,
breaths and stuff, and just kind of staying in yourself for a minute. But yeah, to jump, I'm just like been doing it for so long that I feel like I'm always pretty ready to just jump in and go and just have a good time, bring in a good attitude,
yeah.
um, be ready to be quick on my feet and make changes when needed. Yeah, I think I've been training my whole life for it. So yeah, I
That
guess, yeah.
that's
Simple,
badass.
like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You were born for it. What can I say? There you
yeah.
go. That's
I did
incredible.
all my training, and I mean, I still train and stuff, but like I put in the work to be able to be ready, for these kind of things. Yeah.
That's like badass level 4. Just
Yeah.
escalating from here. I love it. Now, let's say that one day I call you and I tell you that I want to become a dancer. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I have seen, no, no, wait, wait, I do have experience, but I mean, that was just one time. Anyway, but let's say, right, I'm in my 30s. Next week, I'm going to turn 31. So let's say
Yeah.
that I want to start dancing. What
Yeah.
advice would you give to me, or like, or like, what would you say would be kind of a good place for me to start, or to be like, you know what, let's be realistic. You can't do that anymore, or things like that.
I would never tell anyone they can't do it. I think at any age, you can still do anything you want, you put your mind to. If you have a passion for it and a fire for it, a desire for it, yeah, I'd just say jump in and go for it. I would give you, if you lived in Vancouver, I'd be
Mm,
like, go to Harbor Dance Center and start going into the intro classes because they have amazing teachers there.
okay.
Um, and it's amazing atmosphere to be a part of, to step into dancing. I would also be like, if you want to do a private, I can help you out. But, so yeah, that's all I would say.
There you go. I'll take it into consideration.
Yeah.
Okay. If I ever want to become a pro dancer, I know who to call then.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan. I love it. Now, going back a little bit now with your acting, tell me how you prepare a character. Now, of course, that I understand depends on the role and all of that. But tell me, what is your initial approach? When you are about to jump into this whole journey of creating a character.
So, first things first, I'll read the breakdown and I'll do my research on IMDb of the producers, directors, and kind of get the tone of the film or project. And then from there, I'll I'll read the script and I'll start breaking it down with the given circumstances with a sheet and questions I have from my teachers
Yeah.
because that works for me. And then from there, I also work with chakras. So
Mm,
I kind of choose which chakra within the character. Well, I'll use them all and kind of pick which one's imploded and exploded. And then I'll also choose rasas, which is a flavor. So it could be sadness, fear.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll pick two that are screaming at me at the paper. But within that, you have to get physical with it and kind of find the gestures to kind of see what connects with you.
Mm,
The breath. It's yeah, it's a really cool method that one of my coaches, Kennedy Brown, he's from LA. He's amazing. He does the method. But yeah, so I'll do that. And then once I kind of break down the script and understand the story, understand my character, embody it, and kind of find myself within it as well, I'll start to then like memorize the lines because if I know
right.
the story really well and I know what I'm saying, you know what I mean, then it's going to come easier to me instead of just
Mm,
jumping into the lines and then it's not feeling like it's like sticking. And I'm like, why is it not sticking? I used to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's more of a whole experience before I jump
Mm.
into it.
I mean, it's a whole journey, right? Besides learning your lines, as some people might think, right? And I love it whenever, I mean, you can tell whenever you'll see either an actor went really deep into a character and actually went step by step to actually make it relatable, and it's beautiful whenever the audience is caring about a fictional character into a moment that you actually feel real emotions to that character. You know, whenever I was watching the other day, for example, on this film Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, that
Mm,
when I saw it on film, I was literally crying. You know, and later on, my head was like I was just yeah, it was just amazing because I was figuring out like I was crying over a fictional CGI raccoon. You know, what
yeah.
sense? I mean, what
Mm,
you know what I mean? But it's the whole story to it and the whole care they put into a character that you
mm,
actually start to feel like more. There's something about it that actually kind of clicks with you, or you feel kind of relatable, even as
mm.
crazy it might sound, feeling relatable to a CGI raccoon. You know, but something about it clicks with you, and you get into a moment that if something happens to the character, you have you either if you're crying or laughing or like whatever emotion you pick, it's real because it comes from you. You know what I mean? So I find that beautiful, and at the same time really amazing how the whole entertainment can actually either can actually inspires you or move you or think like that. You know?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I think it's so interesting watching some A-list actors do interviews, and then you like listen to them, and you're like, they sound just like they do on TV. You know what I mean? Like they're themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with other things on top of it, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Of course, of course. Yeah, I get it, but I love it. And tell me, like, has it ever happened to you that during this process of creating a character, somehow you got stuck? And if it
Yeah,
happened, how you managed to keep moving forward?
yeah, definitely. Like a block.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a wall, like your armor. And I think that kind of stems from not being able to just let go and get to that vulnerable place because maybe you're scared of it a little bit,
Yeah.
whatever it is within that character. So I guess it's just allowing yourself, for me, I should say, to just like let go of that wall.
Mm.
It's hard. Sometimes it's not easy, but when you have a coach though that's being like, "Come on," like
Yeah, of course.
yeah, I would say that like I've definitely had those moments, and sometimes I don't break through them because my wall is so strong, you know?
Mm.
But yeah, it's a work in progress sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how you handle the whole expectations. For example, you're gonna play this character, right?
Mhm.
And the expectations are already there that people are gonna expect from that character something about it. So how you handle that side and not get nervous or not to get into stress of being able to create something that people
Mhm.
might expect and you want to make it as perfect
Yeah.
as possible, let's say.
I think that comes from, for me, is just telling myself, like, just being okay to play, knowing
Okay.
that you know what I mean? Because I think from being free within that, you're gonna
Mm.
find magic. And if you're going to be embarrassed or the expectations of someone, I think you're just holding yourself back. That's actually
Yep.
doing less for you. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I think just knowing that it's okay to look stupid, mess up. Sometimes that's even where the best things happen. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you just let go. I'll keep
Yeah.
saying,
No, yeah,
yeah,
but it's true. But it's true. I mean, I mean, and I think that is for everything
yeah,
that you just need to jump in, you know, and see what happens. I remember, I mean, for example, on doing interviews, it happens that I get like super prepared, and the interview somehow I ended up being like there was something about it, you know, or sometimes I'm like, you know what, screw it, let's see what happens, ended up being super amazing one. Or even in life general, I do think that sometimes you can never be actual like 100% ready for something. You can't prepare 100% for something because things change. So I do
Mhm.
think that the most important thing here is to just jump in and move forward. So
Hmm. Surrender.
yeah, preach. You got it. Now, let's say for your birthday. When is your birthday, by the way?
August 28th.
Got it. So for August 28th, let's say that I give you a time machine.
Uh-oh.
But here's the thing. You can only use it once and to travel to meet the 13-year-old version of yourself. So tell me, what would you say to that little you?
Oh. Um, you know, I think when like you're that age,
Hmm.
you're you're free of a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like, um, I would probably tell myself to let go of being perfect, like
Hmm.
perfection, and yeah, and like don't overthink things. I am such an overthinker. Ugh. But I'm getting better. I'm training myself to let go of
I
that.
love it.
Yeah, but I think those two things would be major for me as a person. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? Yeah, I do tend to do this exact same thing as you do, that I overthink stuff way too much. Sometimes even more than usual. And when I ended up thinking about like what I just overthink, I'm like, why I just didn't do this in the first place instead of overthink and over and over and over and over. You know what I mean?
When things are already done, it's like, why am I overthinking that? It's already done. It's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, just live the moment, go for it, and see what happens. If it's good, perfect, and if not, well, you at least have a learning lesson or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Growth,
mm.
always.
Now, let's say one day Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, I mean, you name it. Basically, everyone has a streaming platform already. But anyway, let's say that they call you and they tell you that they have this idea, which goes, they're gonna make a film in which all of the characters you have played at the moment, all of them, they're all gonna gather to celebrate your birthday. But here's the
Mhm.
catch: the film needs a name. So how should we call it?
Oh, are you testing me? What's
No,
um wow, that's a big question.
and you better prepare for the next one because the next one is big too. But anyway,
That's a lot of characters. Uh ooh,
take your time. Take your time.
push and pull.
Mm, okay. That sounds like an HBO project. Just saying, you know. I like it. Okay.
Yeah, it's deep.
What about if your life was a sitcom?
Hmm.
What would be the title of that sitcom? And which actress would you like to play you?
Ooh. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I call it What's My Purpose? And I think I would get Emma Stone to play me.
Another project from HBO. I love it. Okay. Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, that sounds like something I will watch for sure. Who knows?
A comedy, What's my purpose?
Yeah, but I mean, I do think that it happens to all of us that at some point we are thinking like, what if my life became a sitcom? Do I have material for a sitcom? You know?
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, with my family, I definitely would. Me personally, for sure. But yeah, lots
Yeah, yeah.
of
My case would be like, did you ever watch Everybody Hates Chris? Have you ever
No.
watched that? Or you better watch it because yeah, like that show kind of resonates a little bit with a little bit like my childhood that happened. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Just saying.
Okay. Let me watch
Anyway,
it. Oh,
Moving forward here.
I love Friends. Sorry.
Yeah, it was a cool one, but yeah, but you know what? I remember when I watched it. I mean, I watched it younger, and then I ended up watching it again a little bit older. But I watched it on Warner, and every single time they were not. I mean, for example, they will show episode one, right, and then for the next day, episode five, and then episode four, and then episode 12, and then season two, and then season three. So I never got like the proper lineup, like, like the proper time, be like, okay, so this happened because of this and this and that. You know what I mean? I never, like, I was like, okay, so what's happened now? Or sometimes I would watch an episode back from the 90s. I'm like, what the hell? You know?
Uh, yeah, yeah, that would make sense. A little lost.
Yeah, just a little bit. So yeah, that was a cool one. Yeah, I would say that one. For example, what were you? Okay, so my next question would be, what would be your top five of TV shows of all time?
Oh my God, of all time? Well, I'm gonna say just because I love Friends so much. Like Friends is a big one for me because I
Okay.
grew up on it. Um, TV shows. Like series?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, TV shows or films. You know what? Let's put both.
Uh,
I mean, I know that I just make it harder, but
I love Meryl Streep.
okay,
I love her. So anything with her in it for me is golden.
okay.
Um, I'm trying to think of ones that I've watched recently that were like I watched Wednesday. Thought that was fun.
Mm,
I'm not I don't think like an all-time thing. I'm not doing like the all-time thing for me is not coming up here, but
okay.
um, yeah, I liked I love because it's Meryl Streep. Devils Wear Prada. Um, what else? I loved watching Emma Stone and Cruella de Vil.
Mm,
That just because I thought her acting was amazing, especially that one moment with her by the water fountain.
yeah.
Um, what else? There's so many films. Why you do this to me? I'm just like when people ask me these big questions,
You put
my
everything on your at once, and you don't know. Mm.
and I'm like, have I even watched any films? Of course I have, but I'm just like everything's here right now.
Yep, yeah. And then later on, like a half an hour later, you're like, why I didn't say this or this or this or this, and then all the names start to come up. Yeah, it happens to me. That's why I love asking that too.
No, yeah, I need to get better at those questions because I literally go blank. I'm like, um,
I mean, you can play safe on that and be like, you know what, I just like Disney stuff, or Pixar stuff, or I mean, don't go by the names of the films, but go from the production, and then people will be like, okay, so because it's a lot of stuff, they'll be like, okay, I get it.
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
love comedy. I love dramedy. I love drama. I mean, I don't really have something I don't like. I hate or
Mm-hmm.
dislike. I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how I feel like as an actor, like I'm down to play all the roles. Like there's not a role that I would be like, no.
I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
take it. Back, I don't know, like 5 years ago, I used to work in a clothing store, and my boss was kind of the remake version of The Devil Wears Prada. you know
Hmm.
I mean, she was annoying, and she wasn't fun at all, but she was treating everyone like that, like in that film. And I remember that someone told her that you look like the Mexican version of the Devil Wears Prada, and I mean, that was just hilarious. And of course, that guy got fired. That's another story. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But she was exactly like that. I remember that she didn't say anything, but every time she was in the building, you were like, oh shit. and
Yeah.
she and if she looked at you, I remember that she was always looking at the shoes and be like, just looking at them, like real, like real fierce on them. And and then she looked at your eyes and be like, "Mm," and then move forward, and you're like, oh, you know what I mean. But of course, since it was a clothing store, I was like, I don't care what she thinks, I'm just here for the money, that's it. So, you know
Yeah. Oh, that's fun. So you
anyway,
lived. Yes.
a little bit, but it wasn't as glamorous as a film, or I didn't got the chance to travel anywhere, so that was a
Yeah.
little bummer. So that was a real anyway.
Mhm. Oh,
um
The Serpent Queen. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that.
That series?
No, I haven't seen that. It's in on HBO, or where it is?
I saw it on Star.
Got it.
Yeah, super good.
It's
Definitely
gonna
watch
be
it.
that's gonna be my top one. The one that I saw recently was Peaky Blinders
I've heard of that. I haven't seen
on
that.
Netflix. Oh, it's beautiful.
Okay.
It's a real, yeah, it's super good. You should watch that for sure. And I just started like yesterday watching Barry on HBO.
Hmm.
Oh, it's I mean it's super fun. I love it. Have you seen it yet?
Oh, Barry?
You should. It's so basically this is what happens. I mean without spoilers.
Yeah.
So basically the story it's about a hitman, right? He's a real pro hitman, but he has an existential crisis and he's tired of it, because I mean he feels like burnout, right? So then they send him to to his next target. So he goes there, and then yeah, he's following his target to kill him, and then he goes where he is, and then it turns out that his target was in an acting school. So he
Mm,
goes inside, he sees everything, and then he gets in love with it, and now he wants to become an actor.
okay.
So now is the whole struggle that he wants to put his life behind as a hitman and wants
Yeah,
to become an actor now. But
that's fun.
yeah, it's really fun. It's I would say that it's kind of like a dark comedy,
Okay. I love a
you
dark
know,
comedy.
and it has this guy that he's hilarious. I just forgot his name. Yeah,
We're flowing here.
yeah. Let me get it for you. No. I got it here. I got it here. I will get it. What's his name? Wait. I'm just open HBO now so I can tell you the name.
Yeah, no worries. Take
So the guy is. Oh yeah. So it's. I mean, is it this one or I'm just mixing up? Okay, so it's Bill Hader.
huh?
Let me see if I. Let me see if I got it correct. It's Bill Hader. Yeah,
Yeah,
Bill Hader.
later.
He was in Superbad,
Okay.
in You, Me, and Dupree, The Pineapple Express.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
Go see
definitely
the lead.
watch it. Yeah, it's amazing. But anyway, yeah, which is rambling right now. But anyway, going back to the whole interview. Tell me, what
What?
motivates you? We all have those days that we just want to quit. It happens to all of us. So how you manage to stay focused and to stay positive regarding of what's happening around your life?
Being surrounded by good people for sure. Making sure you have a good team around you.
Yeah.
I have some really good friends and family, so that's amazing to have their support. Um, I think having a healthy mindset, and working on your inner self just as much as your outer self. I think that's a big one. But also, what can motivate me if, it's kind of weird, but I get like to myself where I go, okay, one, I'm learning that rest is just as important. So, yes, rest is important. But there's times in my head I go, well, there's other people that are doing the work and you're not doing it. Like if there's a day like that and I'm like, come, like push yourself, you got this. Like every hour, every minute counts, you know? So you gotta play those like little tricks in your mind.
Mm, mm,
It helps me sometimes in
yeah.
my own, like for myself with, if I
Yeah.
don't have like other people around me to be like, come on, girl, let's, we got this. I'll play tricks with myself.
There you go. I'll take it. I'll take it. All right. I like it. I mean, as I said, I mean, it happens to all of us. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
You know, what I find interesting, and it happens to me, for example, whenever I feel like that, I just grab my headphones, put basically just music to it, without like choosing on a specific playlist, just
Mhm.
randomly, let's see what song comes next. And most of the times I just feel motivated again. I'm like, okay, I'm back on track. But sometimes it happens that live is playing a sick game on me and would
Yeah.
put me even worse songs, and I'm like, okay, I feel even crappier now. But anyway, it happens. But I get it. I mean, at the end, everyone has like their own style, and like the important thing is to realize that that thing is only temporary. Which is super hard, of course, for you to realize that that if you feel like that, it's just part of it, it's normal, because I do think that sometimes we tend to mistreat it, or to be like, oh, I need to feel happy again. No, I mean, it's okay for you to feel depressed, sad here and there, but of course you need to make sure that you are back up again, and not to feel down and be in that area, because then it's go to depression and all of those problems here and there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's just like really listening to what you need in those moments.
Exactly. Yeah, and sleep is important too. I mean, uh, like the past month, because of the whole editing here with this platform and everything, I was getting like 3 or 4 hours of sleep, and I was feeling miserable. And this week, I was like, you know what? I need to sleep my 7 to 8 hours. And yeah, it actually feels much better now. Fresh ideas. You feel much better though. So yeah, sleep is important.
I had a huge crash moment last weekend because I was just so go, 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 go for so
Mm,
long. And my body, I had a day off completely, and my body said, "You have a day off? Like you're staying here. Like you have no energy."
yeah.
And I literally, when I was walking, I was like, I could be. I just pictured myself like in the hospital, like walking down like the like a hallway, and then I was like picturing myself in like a film. I went there, and then I was like, I could play that.
Yeah, totally. Just walking by with your tube and your serum going through your vein and be like, "What's up?" Things like that.
I always like to like take note of those moments too, just to kind of like try to register and remember what I felt in those
Mm.
moments. You know,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
for acting.
Mhm. Yeah, I get
Weird.
it. I like
Sometimes.
it. You know, funny story, my grandma, she loved to go to the hospital. She loved it. And the
Mhm.
reason is because everyone visited her. So she was happy about it. But the thing is that because he was always super talkative, always super, super talkative. So the hospital already knew her because she was going there all the time, and even sometimes she would pretend she had something, so then they can take her to the hospital immediately, and then the doctor was like, "Ma'am, you're fine." No, no, I'm not fine. Something's wrong with me. No, you're fine. I mean, we understand you like being here, but you're fine. So what I ended up doing at some point is that they will take her to a room full of people, so they will, so she will became friends with the people next to them. So one time I went to visit her, and I just remained seated the whole time because she was happy. She was talking with her friend here, her friend there, and then everybody was best friends. And that was like one of the cool things about my grandma, that I remember that she even once told me that even hospitals can be fun. And I was like, I don't see why they would be fun, but okay, sure, why not? But yeah, she was always having like that attitude. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to, step into a space. I think actually being able to connect with humans and hear their stories
Yeah.
and yeah, just kind of going in with no judgment too, like not judging yourself, not judging others, and just being like, you know, it's cool to kind of, people watch too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Plus, she knew everybody and everybody's secrets, and then she would be like, "Oh, this guy, she's
Yeah.
cheating on that. Who is his? Like all of that." And you're like, "Okay, that's pretty. That's pretty interesting." But yeah,
Everyone
I do
person.
think, yeah, I do think that it's all about perspective. I mean, of course, there's a situation in which you can't be positive about it, and I get it. But
Yeah.
I think most of the time, everything yeah, I do think that most of the time it's all about perspective, you know?
Mhm.
That if something happens to you, I mean, you get the chance to choose what to feel, you get the chance to either feel miserable to it or to just be like, meh, shit happens, and things like that. Or like when people argue, things like that. I mean, I tend to hit arguments because you don't fix anything about it. You just prove, I mean, it's a fight on which who has a stronger voice, on who hits the most badass, yeah, like the most like the nail in the coffin to be like a conversation's over and things like that. But so my point here is that it's all about basically perspective. You get the chance to choose how to feel and how to act to it, and I think that's the beauty about life, that we don't see it. We just take things from granted and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
That was deep, I think.
That was deep. No, yeah, it just made me think about just like protecting your energy sometimes,
Yeah.
I give a lot of energy to people because I care so much. I'm very sympathetic and I have a
Hmm.
big heart, but sometimes that actually contradicts me a little bit and puts me in a place of losing my energy for myself. So then I don't have energy to do the things I want to do because I'm helping everybody else with all their
Totally.
problems, which is great. But it's like finding that balance, that
Yeah.
juice. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, totally. And I sometimes tend to do the same thing, that I want to help everyone that I can, and to uh yeah, do whatever I can to people, but sometimes I will focus more on people than on myself. And then when I realize, I'm like, oh, okay, I see it now. So it's understandable for you to have like your boundaries and be like, you know what, I'm just gonna spend this time for helping people, and I'm just gonna spend this time for myself, either watching a film or for example, I live with two dogs, so just play with them, things like that, or to do things that actually not help me, that actually make me feel happy about it, because if
Mm-hmm.
I feel good about myself, then I can help others and I can perform better instead of. So
Yeah. The simple things sometimes are the most fulfilling, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And once you discover that, you discover how amazing life can be sometimes. When you pay attention to the most ridiculously small, tiny details,
Yeah.
then you start to be like, you know what, life is actually pretty good.
Mm. Yeah, that resonates.
Yeah. We're just speaking the truth right here. I love it. Um Now, my last question. Here we go. If
Uh-oh.
if we could make, let's say, right, that HBO, because I want HBO to sponsor me at some point. But anyway, let's say HBO is gonna make a film about this episode we just did right now.
Oh, yes.
But here's the catch:
Hmm.
we need a name. So how should we call this episode?
Mm. Well, I've been saying letting go a lot because I do think that's a big part of, I think, life in general
Mm,
and into the craft.
hmm.
I think I don't know if there's a better way of saying that in a sentence, but I would say letting go.
Let
The
it
craft
go.
of letting go. I don't know.
The
Letting,
craft of the
letting go?
craft. You know what? Yeah, the craft of letting go.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna be the title for this video. So
Okay.
the
Yeah.
craft of letting go. I like it.
Yeah. It's a big one.
I'll take it. You know what?
Mhm.
I will be even drop this mic, but since I got it stuck a couple of days ago, I can't drop it anymore. But you know what? You know my meaning, so
Yeah.
just drop it anyway. Um, I mean, at the end, what can I say? It's incredible what you do. I mean, like your whole vibe to it. It's epic. I mean, you're a total badass. I mean, that's how I will resume this by saying she's a super total badass here. And the fact that you are doing it because you like it, as simple and cliche as it may sound, do what makes you happy and things like that. We all know that it's a pain in the butt sometimes, and it tends to be a lonely place sometimes as well. But you're making it happen. You have achieved so many, like so many incredible stuff here. I'm super sure that our next conversation is gonna be about the multiple thousands things you have achieved, because it's inevitable. I do believe that good things happen to good people,
Mhm.
and since we started this conversation until right now, I mean, you're super honest to it. You have an incredible vibe, so it's inevitable that incredible things are gonna happen. So
I appreciate that. Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do, 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 do,
There you go.
do.
And I also want to thank those who watch this. Thank you so much. As I said in the beginning, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, helps a lot. Now, since this episode is about to be over, on the description below, you're going to find all of Britt's social media. Let's follow her. Let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Britt. She's incredible. And again, thank you so much for making this happen. Keep killing it. But most important, keep being this incredible of a sunshine person you are. And I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.